Clouds, and more clouds here across eastern Ohio and western PA. Hey, good Friday evening, everyone. It's Eric Wilhelm here with weather for Weather Geeks. And certainly it was a gloomy end to the work week today, and unfortunately the clouds are going to try to stick around into the first half of the weekend. And, you know, it's been that kind of a pattern since the very end of March and into April. Yes, we've had a couple of nice days here and there, but for the most part, it's been a pretty cloudy stretch when we look back at the last almost 2 weeks. The clouds have definitely dominated more often than not, including yesterday and today. Very little, if any, sunshine across our area over the last couple of days. And that's really done a number on our temperatures. We had highs in the mid-40s yesterday. It was no higher than 40 today at the Youngstown Warren Airport. That's a high temperature more typical of the tail end of February rather than here in mid-April. The average high at this time of the year is about 58. The record high today, back in 1977, that sounds pretty nice, 82 degrees. Our low this morning was pretty close to average, and the low will be pretty close to average tomorrow morning as well. The clouds will keep us from getting too cold over the next couple of nights, but yeah, certainly we wish for better things as we go deeper into the month. And, you know, we're 11 days, I should say, into April, and temperatures compared to average across the region. The most pronounced cool weather compared to average has been across the upper Midwest. We're a little behind average in Northeast Ohio, Northwest PA, but the number's still pretty small. That's going to change once we factor in today's final numbers. But it's still been a warmer than average month in parts of the Carolinas, the Mid-Atlantic states as well. We're going to stay on the cool side, it looks like, for the most part over the next week. We'll talk about the longer range later in this video. In the meantime, in the short range, still pretty cloudy, all thanks to low pressure, which is spinning off the eastern seaboard. This low is going nowhere in a hurry. It's continuing to throw some moisture back. We're in a cyclonic flow around that low, and just very, very gloomy and ho-hum. Some clearing late today occurred in places like Detroit and Toledo, and some of this clearing may even try to sneak into extreme western parts of our viewing area, especially over towards I-77 for a time tonight, but even that's kind of a low chance kind of a thing. I think the clouds are going to continue to dominate in the near term, probably for almost 24 more hours. In the meantime, underneath that deck of stratus and stratocumulus clouds, of course, it's cool everywhere. Only a 39 here in the 7 o'clock hour at the Youngstown Warren Airport. No higher than 39 or 40. Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, down to State College, Morgantown. Everyone's kind of in the same boat underneath this cloud deck. If you're a golf fan, though, you've been watching the Masters over the last couple of days. Weather's been pretty good down there, and they're going to have more good weather as we head into the weekend. The 7 o'clock Eastern temperature in Augusta, Georgia, where the Masters tournament is being played, as always, 69 degrees. And we had some hail-producing showers and storms in parts of the southeastern U.S. earlier on. Those are pretty much fading away at this hour. Might be a sprinkle down there this evening. That should be about it. Back here at home, when are we going to see the sun? I think for the most part we're going to have to wait until Sunday. Now, during the day Saturday, not much is going to change from today. We're still in that cyclonic flow. The low has hardly moved off the coast of New Jersey. At least we're not seeing the snow. Some wet snow, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, all the way down perhaps into eastern parts of Pennsylvania, and even in the higher terrain of Pennsylvania and West Virginia, up in the Laurel Highlands and kind of the Appalachian front, or the Allegheny front, in east central, or west central, I should say, and central PA. Could see some snowflakes there. For us, nothing more than a sprinkle and a lot of clouds for a Saturday. Might try to see some clearing towards, the last minute, towards sunset. By the way, the sunset tomorrow is at 8 p.m. 8 o'clock and after sunsets until almost the end of August. There's some good news for you. But the clearing will be more pronounced, I think, tomorrow night. Now, it'll come at a price, perhaps. The more clearing of the stratus clouds we see tomorrow night, the better chance for fog trying to set up Sunday morning. We could get off to a fairly murky start Sunday because of fog, not necessarily clouds up above our heads, but fog down here on the ground. If we do have fog, it'll burn off fairly quickly Sunday morning, leaving us with some sunshine midday into the afternoon. We've inserted a small chance of a late day shower into our forecast for Sunday because of this warm front approaching. The model here is not going to show much during the daylight hours, but right around or just after sunset, we might see some raindrops pushing in. Showers may be around for a handful of hours Sunday night. Now, Monday becomes a little more interesting as we get into the warm sector. A bona fide May-like day on Monday for a change. Too bad it's just a one-day thing for now, but we're in this warm sector. The wind comes around to the south. I think we'll see some sunshine. The temperatures and the dew points won't be especially high. Not as high as they could be, certainly, at this time of the year, but a pretty potent cold front heads our way. Some ingredients are there for showers and thunderstorms. In fact, a lot of ingredients are there for some precipitation Monday afternoon. It's just a matter of, will it be no big deal, or are we going to have a severe weather threat to contend with on Monday? That's going to be a question we'll be looking at all weekend. In the meantime, the weekend, 46 on Saturday, 57 on Sunday. Again, watch for the fog possible Sunday morning. It says 4 possible early. It should say fog possible early. Here's what I did with the severe weather outlook Monday afternoon. Pretty good chance of some heavy gusty storms in a place like Parkersburg, Charleston, Morgantown, heading over perhaps as far west as Cincinnati. Lower chances once you get north of Interstate 70, but the chance is not zero. I think it's possible to see a rowdy thunderstorm around here as we go through the second half of the afternoon on Monday. I think the ingredients, the combination of wind shear and instability, will be higher down towards the Ohio River and down into West Virginia as well. I think we'll have a decent amount of wind shear. It's mostly speed shear. In other words, changing of the wind speed with height, not a big change in wind direction with height in this kind of a setup Monday, but we'll have some speed shear. The instability marginal across northeast Ohio and northwest PA. So I'm not sold on this being any sort of real noteworthy severe weather event for us, but perhaps we get a rowdy storm before the day is through. Now let's talk about the longer range. It's Friday, so we get an update on the weeks 3 and 4 outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. We get these outlooks, the 8 to 14 day and the 6 to 10 day. We get those every day, but it's on Friday that we get the weeks 3 and 4 updates. And I think we'll see a pattern change as we go beyond Easter. I think we're locked in a relatively cool pattern, with the exception of Sunday and especially Monday. We're locked in this pattern until next weekend, until Easter Sunday. After that, modeling is in really good agreement. Now, there's going to be skeptics out there who, the I'll believe it when I see it crowd. Don't be one of those people. Those people are no fun. The longer range, the modeling is pretty consistent that we're going to break out of this abnormally cool pattern. Now, will it be a blowtorch? Will it get hot all of a sudden? No, I don't think so. But this is today's 8 to 14 day outlook, and I think this is right. The blue anomalies in the 6 to 10 day outlook are gone. The warmth starts expanding east. And with the weeks 3 and 4 outlook from the Climate Prediction Center today, kind of looks like that. Weeks 3 and 4 takes us into May, and I think there'll be some cooler risks as we head into the first 10 days of May, week 4 in other words. But I do think the last week to 10 days of April at least will be quite a bit warmer than this kind of lousy pattern that we're kind of stuck in right now. So yeah, I'm trying to find some good news, and I think I've found a few things. The later sunsets and some decent weather, at least temperature-wise, coming up as we round out the final third of April. Thanks for watching Weather for Weather Geeks on this Friday evening. Make it a great weekend. I'll see you back here on Monday, and I'll have updates this weekend on that risk of a heavy gusty storm on Monday afternoon.